walk out to the show and fall at your door. We got that info for you. Touchdown on that plane and buy anything. More than just a podcast for you.
Next question. This is my favorite part. The Tweener series. We're talking wide receiver route trees. What are the different routes and how important is it to learn how to run them all on every level? So, who wants to start?
Come on,
Hey,
Big
real
Dog.
quick, I'm not a receiver, but I try to do a little homework on this wide receiver route tree. I ain't realized about a route tree until about 5 years ago when they talking about one of my high school players. I know it was 12 routes to a route tree, and then you could break it down. I just thought you just ran routes. They taught you routes. Started doing my homework. You know, most odd number routes is dealing with the outside, and most even numbers are dealing with stuff going toward the end. And then you got a couple combinations with the screen and everything. It's definitely important. In high school, I feel you get away with the fly, the deep post. As you get to college, them quick out, them quick ends, them double cuts, you need them because especially if you got the speed, because you got a good defender, but you get him with a double move and get open, it's definitely then in the NFL you already know you need all of them, depending on what type of
True.
defender is sticking you. If he's a jammer, if he's off you, you gotta know what route's gonna get you open.
Yeah. Well,
But
I believe that, when it comes to the route tree, not everybody can run everything and not everybody will be able to effectively run everything. That's what separates certain people, like a Jerry Rice, like they say Jerry Judy, like Waddle, you know what I'm saying? How he can run every single route on the route tree and effectively take advantage of people like he been doing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I think that, like even in high school, it's so sad that some kids don't know the route tree in high school. That's when they start to learning those kind of things, but they're not teaching those kind of things in high school. The only thing they know is the nine. Because the only thing they want to do is go deep. You know what I'm saying? So it's not too many aspects of what it is and what's the advantages of those based on the defense. They don't give that information there. Like, honestly, truthfully, I learned about the route tree when my son started playing corner because back then, she tell us, man, go deep, man, do a post, hey, man, go in, do 5 and in, or do a hitch or something like that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know the numbers to them, but we knew the routes.
so
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Break it down.
my son was a receiver. Like, yes, I knew this one. So for the moms that are listening, a route tree is a series of staple routes. Staple meaning you'll find them at high school, college, and the NFL that every offense runs. There are 9 primary routes, well, 10 primary routes. The zero's a hitch. Names could change depending upon program that you go to. Zero's a hitch, one is a speed out, two is a slant, three is a comeback, four is a curl, five is an out, six is a dig, seven is a corner, eight is a post, and nine is a fade, or some people call it a fade and a go. So when Coach Parsons was talking about odd routes, meaning that you work to the outside or to the sidelines, it's because routes have numbers. And then even routes, again, you work back to the middle. And so everything in the route tree is like those 9 routes are your core routes. They're going to change. In high school, you might not run all of the routes because of the offense that your coach runs. So just
Hmm.
as if you're a parent, you need to be aware of what offense, if you have a pass heavy offense, it's more often not that you'll get all the routes in the route tree. But if you have like a combo offense or an offense that's run heavy, you might not get to your kid may not be able to run all the routes. So you need to know what they're not running because in college, they're going to be asked to run routes that sometimes they've never been exposed to in high school, depending upon the high school offense. And everything in the route changes based on your splits, your assignments, and the coverage that the defense shows you. And what I learned from my son and others who is that the one big difference is that in college, when Coach Parsons was talking about like the fade and go or the slant and go, there's double moves in college that you don't often see in high school. So double moves, parents, that's when you do something like a hitch and go or a fade and go or something and something else. And so in high school, you don't really get unless your offensive coordinator is like super pro style, you don't really run double moves. You run just simple things. So this is important because if you don't understand double moves, it goes to timing, it goes to coverage. So definitely start to be aware if your kid's a receiver that there may be some routes in high school that he's not running. And so figure that out so that when you hire your trainer, as most of you guys do, he needs to practice the routes that he doesn't get to run in high school so that he'll be
If
ready
you
for college.
and if you are a wide receiver and your kid's gonna be a wide receiver, he needs to have a wide receiver trainer. So I see all these kids practicing with footwork people and all this kind of stuff, but
But
they can have all the talent in the world, but if they don't get the concept of the different routes, it's gonna hurt them. And if they run the same route all the time or whatever, they're gonna be weaker on the other route. So Sean taught me a lot about NFL receivers. So many of them cannot run all the routes. And you have, like I said, super brain, super football brains in college, and that's what holds you back. That's what holds you back. It's not the speed. It's not that. It's just you haven't ran it and you haven't perfected it. But it's not something that it's a gift, man. It's a gift to be able to do all that, man. And people don't talk about it enough. Parents don't know about it enough, and it's something that need to be looked at to make your kid better earlier and have more success.
yeah, my son said to your point, Randy, that when you really know the route tree, that's where you make your money as a wide receiver because route trees co- combined with understanding the coverage that the defense is running, that you put it with your skill, that gives you separation, that gives you the ability to actually make adjustments on the fly. And most wide receivers, because they haven't run all the routes and they don't know all the coverages from the defensive side, they don't make the money that they should. So it's really, really super important, he said. Um,
Yeah.
um, Next question. We're starting something called the Best of series. And so this week, this is totally opinionated. We're going to talk about what's the best college football championship game ever and why.
All right, I'm gonna go with. I can't believe I forgot the doggone day. I don't have my paper with me, but USC versus Texas. Man. Vince Young, you know, what's the coach from Seattle?
Pete Carroll.
Yeah, Pete Carroll. You know, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart. I mean, that game was awesome, and it was like David versus Goliath. Even though Texas is a great program, the fact that USC was coming back, they had already won a championship, and Vince Young had a big old mouth, and it was just a battle to the end. And to see Vince run into that end zone with seconds ticking off the clock, it was like it was the best game I ever watched. It was awesome. It was the best game I ever watched. It was really good.
It pains me to say it got to be, I think it was 2000, 2001, where Miami, it was a good game, played Ohio State, and we lost. But that game was so good because it's going back and forth. You watch that game, it really was a good game. Even though we lost, but think about it, Miami went back-to-back national championships, maybe 3 in a row type thing. So, but the most part, looking at all those big-time NFL athletes from that Miami team, is even more like, oh my God, man, you know what I'm saying? Like we lost, but in the same sense, it was a good game. So I would
Yeah,
say
everybody,
that.
So Frankie Robb is my people right there. He is my people because that is the game. I don't care. I was on this hill. He's talking about the 2003 Fiesta Bowl, the game where Miami was robbed national championship on a crappy PI call in the end zone in double overtime, and they lost to that team from Ohio. That was the best national championship game
Willis McGahee.
ever.
They hurt Willis McGahee. You know what I'm saying?
And he was the first player to come back and actually get major NFL money after
first round draft pick after ACL, MCL, everything tear.
And came back and just dominated, got great coins. Everybody was in that game. Kellen Winslow, Devin Hester, Vince Warfolk, DJ Williams was in that
Everybody.
game. Frank Gore, like that is the best game ever. I'm willing to die on this hill.
I gotta watch. I gotta
You
watch.
gotta watch that.
Everybody keep telling me to watch it because I'm not my Ohio State fan now. So like I gotta go back and watch it because that's the first thing people talk about. So I gotta watch.
When
Yeah,
I
that's
tell you
crucial.
that was a good game, I will send you a clip from the crappy pass interference that wasn't a pass interference.
Hey,
That
oh yeah, especially him, your son playing corner. You're gonna see that and be like, man, yeah, they cheated. Yeah, yeah, they did. Like
and
Okay.
this right here talked.
Miami
That talked.
was up. I'm telling you, Miami was
Yeah.
up until that call. That is the best game ever. And it was Miami with the swag, with the look. I mean, it was just, yeah, it was great. It was a great game. I'm willing to die on this hill.
I'm gonna ride with y'all too.
Yeah, that was good. That was the best game. Like if you see the players on there, even wasn't one of the Bosa's on that team.
San
I think
Antonio
he was on that team. Like
was
one
like-
of the linebackers was one
like
that
I have
team.
to think about it. Like, you know, you're an Ohio State parent. San Antonio Holmes was on the Ohio
Well,
State
He's from
team.
Miami.
Like, it was just
He's
like
from Miami. Yeah, that's
Yes.
crazy.
the caliber of like tons of them went to the NFL. It was such a good game. I will watch it right now. It's
Like,
still that
That's
good.
the year they had 11 first-round draft picks.
Yeah,
It
that's
was,
crazy.
I tell you, it was worth the price of admission. It was such a good game.
Very good.